Hello, everyone. Once again, I am back. Now, for the second installment Champions Return to Arms. Now, I'll give you the regular spiel. I've had thousands of individuals, including Madara Uchiha, ask me to do a box and manual reading of the Champions Return to Arms game. Now, I already have the disc running in my PS2 Slim console, as you can see in the background. Firstly, I want to cover the art here, PlayStation 2, all that stuff. That looks like Inaruk, I think. I actually haven't played this one. I played the other one 4 times, beat it. This looks like the one lady you meet in the first game, and then I don't know who that is. That must be the protagonist. I don't know why you'd be fighting her. I thought she was a good guy. Maybe she's another one. I don't know. But it's rated teen, content rated by the ESRB. It's developed by Snowblind Studios, a very amazing studio. Unfortunately, it's defunct now. Online broadband only, once again. There is a Discord server to enable this functionality again. I will link that in the description again. It's made by Sony Online Entertainment. NTSC U/C, the PlayStation logo. If you look on the side of the box here, it shows Champions Return to Arms, SLUS, not 20973 NTSC U/C. Look in the back here. Some pretty cool art. Look at this dragon. Pretty cool. It says, "Slay your way to glory." A battle of unimaginable brutality looms across the land, and champions are being summoned to fight for the forces of good and evil. Pick your side, choose your deadliest arms, and then slay your way to victory in Champions Return to Arms, the powerful sequel to the must-have action RPG of 2004, Champions of Norath. Rediscover all the action-packed hack-and-slash fun with up to 100 hours of gameplay per character, unlimited battles, deadly missions, horrific creatures, and stunning environments. Now, I must explain, I think this game plays a little differently. It doesn't have just a chronological story, like linear. It's more of you go through different missions, and I'm pretty sure you can choose a good or evil character, which is actually a pretty cool addition into this here. It says, customize your champion. There's now 7 races and 7 classes, including new Vashir Berserker and Ixar Shaman. I think there's like Argonian looking guys and tiger looking guys, like Khajiit looking guys if you played Skyrim. Cooperate or decimate. Give friends a hand in cooperative mode, or challenge them into head-to-head duel in the arena. Up to 4-player action, online or offline with multi-tap. That's actually pretty cool, not gonna lie. You can actually fight each other. I thought that was all just co-op. There's advanced mission system. Explore and conquer over 50 areas, including thrill-filled, non-linear side quests. See, this is, I'm excited for this, to play this. It says, live the story. Choose your fate in dynamic plot filled with intrigue, adventure, and unexpected twists. Now it says, win powerful medals. Medals do more than serve your prowess. They are the key to unlocking secret levels. Import your champion. Give your character from Champions of Norath a glorious return to arms with new weapons, armor, spell, skills, and levels. Play online. Intuitive lobby system with buddy lists and private chat rooms lets you share the thrill of battle. USB headset support makes the interaction even more intense. Not sure if that's still working with the fan server, but I will link the Discord if anyone wants to check that out. I might get back to you guys on that. Spectacular spells and more. New skills, spells, weapons, armor for every character type. That's also pretty awesome. Now, it says 1 to 4 players, memory card for PS2, 418 kilobytes. Analog control as well as digital control. Has vibration function. Has online Ethernet broadband required for online play, network adapter PS2 required, 1 to 4 players for online play. There's also a multi-tap for PS2, 1 to 4 players. Like I said, the official servers have been gone long ago. Sony Online Entertainment, www.championsrta.com. Might check that out on the Wayback Machine in a separate video just to show you all the websites and stuff. Now, it's rated teen. blood and gore, violence. It's the ESRB content rating, www.esrb.org, and it says game experience may change during online play. Now it says the license terms are available at www.championsrta.com/terms and in game, and then it has a bunch of legal stuff. If you watch the show Suits, you know what that is. Now it shows 8 and 1 on the sides for the barcode, and the barcode number is 14582400582. Now let's open this up for you. No memory card in here, but there is a memory card holder because, you know, you're going to have a lot of characters in this game. Pretty cool. This is where the disc would go. Now, let's take this manual out. Do be warned, this manual is actually bigger than Champions of North's manual. Just for the simple reason that it has 2 more character classes, I'm pretty sure. Here's the back. Here, shows on sale now, EverQuest Online Adventures Frontiers for the PlayStation 2 broadband. I haven't looked into this game. I'm not really sure what it's all about, but I'll look into it. Maybe I'll do a manual reading for that game. Alright, Champions Return to Arms, developed by Snowblind Studios with its amazing engine. Teen, content rated by the ESRB, published Sony Online Entertainment. Now I sit here and wonder, should I read this? Or should I skip it? Because every game has the same warning. But you know what? We're going to be here a while anyways, so we might as well. Warning. Read before using your PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. A very small percentage of individuals may experience epileptic seizures when exposed to certain light patterns or flashing lights. Exposure to certain patterns or backgrounds on a television screen or while playing video games, including those played on a PlayStation 2 console, may induce an epileptic seizure in these individuals. Certain conditions may induce previously undetected epileptic symptoms even in persons who have no history of prior seizures or epilepsy. If you or anyone in your family have an epileptic condition, consult your physician prior to playing. If you experience any of the following symptoms while playing a video game: dizziness, altered vision, eye or muscle twitches, loss of awareness, disorientation, any involuntary movement or convulsions, immediately discontinue use and consult your physician before resuming play. There we go, man. Warning to owners of projection televisions. Do not connect your PlayStation 2 console to a projection TV without first consulting the user manual for your projection TV, unless it is of the LCD type. Otherwise, it may permanently damage your TV screen. Well, good thing we're not using my CRT right now. Use of unauthorized product. The use of software peripherals not authorized by Sony Computer Entertainment America may damage your console and/or invalidate your warranty. Only official or licensed peripherals should be used in the controller ports or memory card slots. Now it says, oop, did I accidentally crease the thing? Whoops. That sucks. This disc is intended for use only with PlayStation 2 consoles, with the NTSC/U/C designation. This is in the handling your PlayStation 2 format this session. Do not bend it, crush it, or submerge it in liquids. Do not leave it in direct sunlight or near a radiator or other source of heat. Be sure to take an occasional rest break during extended play. Keep this compact disc clean. Always hold the disc by the edges and keep it in its protective case when not in use. Clean the disc with a lint-free, dry, soft cloth, wiping in straight lines from the center to outer edge. Never use solvents or abrasive cleaners. I've got that shit out of the way. We've got the table of contents. Page 2 is getting started. Page 3 is the controls. Page 4 is Welcome the Champions, Return to Arms. Page 4 is also containing the main menu. Page 5 has the options menu. Page 6 has starting a normal game. Page 7 has creating your character. Page 10 has customizing your character. Page 11 has importing your character. Now 11 also has multiplayer games, which also contains starting a multi-tap multiplayer game and starting an internet game. Page 14 has Your Quest Begins. It also has the main game screen and the character detail screens. Up on page 17 is controlling your character. Saving the game is on page 18. Page 19 has buying and selling equipment. Page 20 has combat. 22 has death. 22 also has leveling up. Page 23 has medal rounds, unlocking hidden levels. Page 24 is arena games, as well as tips and strategies. It has basic strategies, and on page 25 has class strategies. 26 has character abilities. 27 is the Iskar Shaman. 29 is the Vashir Berserker. 31 is the Barbarian Warrior. 34 is the Wood Elf Ranger. 37 has the High Elf Cleric. 40 is the Erudite Wizard. 43 has the Dark Elf Shadow Knight, which is the best one. 46 has the credits. Page 49 has the End User License Agreement. And page 51 has SOEgames.net Terms of Service. Getting started. Now it's showing the PS2 console, memory card slot 1 and 2. It also has the disc tray, reset button, open button, the USB connectors, controller ports 1 and 2. It says, note, illustration may not match all PlayStation 2 console types. For owners of the SCPH-7000 series PlayStation 2 systems, refer to the setup instructions supplied with your system. Now it says, set up your PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system according to the instructions in its instruction manual. Make sure the main power switch, located in the back of the console, is turned on. Press the reset button. When the power indicator lights up, press the open button and the disc tray will open. Place the Champions Return to Arms disc on the disc tray with the label side facing up. Press the open button again and the disc tray will close. Attach game controllers and other supported peripherals as appropriate. Follow on-screen instructions and refer to this manual for information on using the software. I just wanted to say that this looks pretty cool. The dragon on the side here, and then you got the characters on the side here. Now you got the controls showing the DualShock 2 controller. DualShock 2 analog controller configurations. It's got the L1, L2, R2, R1, directional buttons, the triangle, circles, X square, the left analog stick with the L3, right analog stick with the R3, start, select, and the analog mode buttons. Now, in the menus, the D-pad, it does the menu item selection, goes up and down to highlight different items. I don't know why it doesn't have the X there. X is supposed to say that it selects the current item. I don't know why that's blank in this manual. But circle button reverts to the previous menu, such backspaces, and then the square and triangle does nothing. In-game, the L1 button, it switches equipped melee and range weapons. L2 drinks the mana potion. R2 drinks the healing potion. L3 centers the camera behind the character. R3 opens the auto map. R1 blocks attacks, and it also cycles through the inventory tabs in the inventory, and L1 also cycles through the inventory tabs, left and right. The left analog stick moves your character. The right analog stick rotates the camera view. The start button pauses the game, as well as opens the options menu. The select button opens the character inventory. If you hold the square button and hit select, it uses a gate scroll. In game, the circle button uses your special ability, which is assigned in the radial menu. Same thing with the triangle button. It can also drop items in the inventory screen, the triangle one. The square button picks up items, interacts with NPCs and objects, opens your spellbook in your ability screen, and it also buys and sells in the shop. Now it says, welcome to Champions Return to Arms. Based on the popular online game EverQuest for the PC, Champions Return to Arms is a sequel to the hit Champions of Norath. Champions Return to Arms allows for single and multiplayer play on the PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system. Inarok has been destroyed, but the influence of the Prince of Hate persists, and now a new threat gathers. You have been summoned by Fiona Vi. I'm sorry, if you guys play EverQuest, please. I don't know how to pronounce names. To help stop a new assault upon the Plains of Power. This time there is no army of hate. This time the attack is more insidious. Hate has infected everything. There is no one you can completely trust. Fiona Vi stands vigilant and calls upon you once more to help. Will you follow her or take another path of your choosing? I'm assuming that's alluding to you can choose good or evil. Now it says on the main menu, when you first enter Champions Return to Arms, you are presented with the following options on the main menu. Start new game begins a new game. Load save game. Loads a previously saved game from an attached memory card, 8 megabytes for the PlayStation 2. Options. Adjust your game settings and preferences. Credits. Displays a list of those involved in the production of Champions Return to Arms. Now, options menu. Set your gameplay preferences from this menu. Bright. Adjust the brightness level of the display. Music/amp. Adjust the volume of music during play. SFX increases or decreases the amount of sound effects heard during play, such as sword swings and coin jingles. Controls. Customize the default controller assignments. Combat camera swivel. Toggles the automatic camera movement behind the character during combat. Default on. Reverse camera inputs. Reverses the direction the camera moves while adjusting it left or right with the right analog stick. Default off. Vibration. Toggles the vibration feedback in the DualShock 2 analog controller. Default on. Stereo. Toggles between stereo and mono audio output. Default on. Blood. Toggles graphical detail in combat. Default off. Subtitles. Toggles the display of text during cinematic scenes. Default on. Damage text. Toggles the display of damage messages during combat. Default on. Chat text. Toggles display of player type chat during internet game. I wonder if that still works. Player markers. Toggles the colored markers for the Toggles the color markers that differentiate players during multiplayer games. Default on. Headset settings. Only available during gameplay via the pause menu. Turns voice chat functionality on or off. Local echo. Echoes the user's voice back. Record. Sets the record volume. Turn it up to increase the record volume. Threshold. Sets the volume level at which you will start broadcasting. Any sound quieter than the level set will not be transmitted. Helps stop background noise from being broadcast. The threshold line can be viewed next to volume. The solid bar indicates how loud the headset input is, and then the white line is the threshold that has been set. So you can test to see how loud you have to be in order for them to hear you, so that any noises in the background are not transmitted into your homie's chat. Oh, look at this stuff over here. Alright. It says starting a normal game. After choosing to start a new game, you may select a normal game or an internet game, covered later under internet game. When starting a normal game, you will be asked whether you want to play a 1, 2, 3, or 4-person game. Multiplayer games started here are played with your friends on a single PlayStation 2 system. If you wish to play a multiplayer game with 3 or 4 players, you will need to install a multi-tap for PlayStation 2 and have your friends' controllers connected. If they wish to import their characters from another game, they must install their memory card with a previously saved game. Selecting difficulty. There are now 4 levels of difficulty in Champions Return to Arms. You must complete the previous level of difficulty to successfully before you can move to the higher levels. Adventurous. This is the level you will start at if this is your first time playing. Courageous. Recommended for character levels 25 to 45. Champion. Recommended to characters 45 to 65. And Legendary is recommended for character levels 65 and up. If you're playing Champions Return to Arms for the first time, you will begin at the first level of difficulty. This will allow you to build your character through the lower levels. These higher levels difficulty games will open up as you replay the game using your higher level character. The game will rebalance to provide a challenge-worthy of your more powerful character. If you import a character from Champions of Norrath that reach higher levels of difficulty, you will have access to the higher levels of difficulty in Champions Return to Arms with that character. See, that's the cool thing. So you can actually play Champions of Norrath, and then if you're ready to play Champions of Return to Arms after that, you can actually start at the higher difficulty, so you can build your character that way. Now it shows creating your character. There are 7 races and class combinations you may choose from. They're all mutually exclusive. Each combination has its own strengths and weaknesses, abilities, and skills. Your gameplay experience will be different for each, so try them all. Cycle through them by using the left analog stick or by pressing the right or left directional buttons. You may choose to either be male or female for all characters except the Exar and Vashir. This choice will only affect your character's appearance. That's weird. Ixar shamans are bipedal lizards who tap the spirit world to cast spells. They can wear full armor and use most weapons. It's pretty cool looking. Then you got the Vashir Berserker. Focus more on dealing damage than avoiding it. The Berserker is a powerful but reckless combatant. They specialize in throwing axes. It's pretty cool. They're like cat people, looks like. Nope. Now you got the classic characters. You got the Barbarian Warrior, a physically powerful character. The Barbarian Warrior tends to bring the battle to his enemies and has many abilities that aid in melee combat. The Wood Elf Ranger, agile, strong, and deadly with both melee and ranged weapons, especially the bow. The Wood Elf Ranger also has access to some magical abilities. The High Elf Cleric, wise and adept at invoking the powers of the gods for healing, protection, and attack. The High Elf Cleric is also a skilled combatant with a particular affinity for blunt weapons. The Erudite Wizard, possessing great intelligence, the Erudite Wizard is not as skilled in hand-to-hand combat, but more than makes up for this shortfall and with a devastating arsenal of magical abilities. And you have the best class here is the Dark Elf Shadow Knight. Strong and cunning, the Dark Elf Shadow Knight brings combat prowess and skill with dark magic together in a powerful combination. Pretty cool, my dude. Alright, now it shows customizing your character. Before you begin, you may individualize your gameplay by tailoring your character's appearance, attributes, and name. Appearance. Once you have picked a gender and race/class combination, that the race and class is the same thing, you may customize your character's appearance and physical attributes. Select from several skin colors, hairstyles, and hair colors by moving the sliders left or right. Attributes. Your character has 4 important attributes that define his or her mental and physical effectiveness, depending on the race and class combination you choose. You may further customize each of these attributes by distributing 20 points among them. You have Strength. This affects how much damage your character delivers with a physical blow during melee combat, as well as how much weight he or she can carry. Intelligence. This helps determine the amount of mana your character has available for activating special abilities, as well as the rate at which he or she regenerates spent mana. Dexterity. This affects your character's accuracy during combat with melee and ranged weapons, as well as the damage your character causes with a ranged weapon. Stamina. Helps determine the amount of health your character has and at the rate at which he or she regenerates health after taking damage. It's very important. Character name. You may name your character anything you like. Spell out the name by moving the character selector around the alphabet and then pressing the X button to pick the highlighted letter. When you are done spelling the name, select Done to save and move on. That's how you make your character, I guess. Shoot. Importing a character. If you played the original Champions of Norath, you can import saved characters from your memory card into Champions Return to Arms. At the character creation screen, insert your memory card with your saved character and press the triangle button. Your card will be scanned for saved characters. A list of those saved characters will appear. As you scroll through the list, each character's portrait and statistics will appear to the right. Next to Type, you will consider whether the character is from Champions of Norath, CON, or from Champions Return to Arms, RTA. Highlight the character you wish to import and press the X button. Your character will be imported with his or her statistics listed. Multiplayer games. Players have the option of playing Champions Return to Arms with 3 of their friends on a single PlayStation 2 computer entertainment system using the multi-tap, or with other players over the internet through soegames.net. Starting a multi-tap multiplayer game. For a multiplayer game on a single system, you'll need a multi-tap for PlayStation 2. Start a new game from the main menu, and then select Normal Game. Choose the number of players up to 4 that will participate. Each player will then create their character in turn. Press the X button to accept. After all players have created their characters, the game will begin. Now at the bottom here it says starting an internet game. You can play Champions Return to Arms over the internet and adventure with players almost anywhere. You must have a network adapter, Ethernet/modem for PlayStation 2, properly connected to your PlayStation 2. System. Alright, so that is actually a continuous statement. You must have it connected to your PlayStation 2 system for internet play and have a broadband connection available. To begin an internet game, select Start New Game from the main menu and select Internet Game. You will be asked to select your network configuration. If you have not one set up, select Create a Network Configuration and follow the prompts to create and save a configuration that will allow champions return to arms connect to the internet. When you return to the game, select this network configuration you have set up. Follow the instructions and accept the terms of service to log into SOEgames.net. SOEgames.net. Internet gameplay takes place through SOEgames.net, Sony Online Entertainment's connection service. SOEgames.net is a free service that helps you find a game to join and to host your own game and invite other players. If you already have a SOEgames.net account, enter your username and password to log in. If this is the first time you have played through SOEgames.net, set up a new account by selecting Create a New Login Account. Be sure to use a valid email address. If you lose your password and request it, it will be sent to you by email. Write down your username and password on the back of your manual to keep it safe. So write it here, or here? Where does it want you to write it? Whatever. Once logged in, you will see a list of games you can join and a chat lobby where you can talk with other players. If you wish to host a game, or you are looking for a private game to join, press the triangle button. Now it says Characters on SOEgames.net. The characters you create and play online through SOEgames.net are saved on the SOEgames.net server, not on your memory card. They can only be played in internet games when you're connected to the SOEgames.net service. That sucks. So you can't just like build your character and then use it online. That's kind of weird. Joining a game. To join a game, select one from the list and press the X button. You may either create a new character and import a saved character from a memory card. You will then be taken to a private lobby where you can chat with the other players in the game as you wait for the game to begin. Oh, so you can import a character. Okay, it just will be separate. Okay, that makes sense. Hosting a game. To host a game, press the triangle button and then the X button. You may start a new character or import a saved character from a memory card. You'll be prompted for a game name and the type of game you want to host. Players will be able to join your game, depending on what type of game you chose to start. When you have the players you want for the game... Well, hold on. When you have the players you want for the game, press the X button to start. Give me 1 second. Sorry. It says, your quest begins. Yeah. Once you create or import your character, press the X button to begin your adventure. Main game screen. Shows 1 health bar, 2 experience bar, 3 mana bar, 4 level up indicator, and 5 the radial menu. You can see in that picture there. The 3 bars in the upper left corner track your character's vital statistics. Health is the red bar. Red bar. This displays your character's hit points. If this health bar is depleted, your character will die. Experience. Green bar. This displays the progress toward your next level. When this bar fills completely, you will attain a new level. Mana. Blue bar. This displays your character's pool of magical energy, which is used to activate special abilities. Automap. Press the R3 button once to bring up a large, transparent automap, if available in your character's location. Your character will be represented by a triangle on the map. Press the R3 button a second time to reduce the automap size. Pressing the R3 button a third time will close the automap altogether. Character detail screens. Press the select button to view your character's inventory and statistics. There are 6 tabs at the top of the screen for each detail page. Weapons, armor, items, character statistics, quests, and abilities. You may move between the screens by pressing the R1 or L1 buttons, or moving your character, or moving the pointer over a tab and pressing the X button. Weapons, armor, and items pages. On any of the 3 inventory screens, you may equip and unequip an item by moving your pointer over it and pressing the X button. You may also drop items by pointing at them and pressing the triangle button. Enhancing equipment. You may discover certain items during the course of your adventure that can be used to enhance your equipment. You will notice 4 circles in the information boxes for some of your equipment. These are the enhancement slots that can be filled with these special enhancements. To apply an enhancement to one of your items, navigate to your item page. Pick up the enhancement you wish to apply in an item by pressing the X button. Go to your weapon or armor inventory page and place the cursor over the piece of equipment you wish to enhance. Press the X button to apply the enhancement onto the item. So you have like sort of like a enchanting system in this game. You can get your weapon to do more damage or have special attributes. When all the slots of an item have been filled, no more enhancements can be applied to that piece of equipment. Note that a few enhancements may take up more than one enhancement slot. You cannot apply enhancements to items that are already considered magical, items whose names are in blue. Once an enhancement has been applied, it cannot be removed. So that basically means that like blue items can't be enchanted for some reason. Character statistics page. This screen displays all important statistical information about your character, such as level, health, and experience. Yeah. Okay. Here's the screenshot there. You can see it with all the numbers. 1 is carrying capacity, 2 is current coins, 3 is the weapons tab, 4 is the armors tab, 5 is the items tab, 6 is the character statistics tab, 7 is the quest journal tab, 8 is the special abilities tab, 9 is the fire resistance score, 10 is the cold resistance score, 11 is the poison resistance score, 12 is the disease resistance score, and 13 is the magic resistance score. Quest journal page. This screen helps you keep track of the goals you are trying to achieve on your quest. So it's like a quest log or whatever. Special abilities page. This screen displays your special abilities such as combat arts and spells, as well as your character's current skill rank in each. Points remaining displays points you have available to spend on improving these abilities. So this is like your skill tree. You can see it here. You can spend points as you level up. Using your spellbook. Your spellbook allows you to place special abilities into a radial menu you can use to quickly execute spells and combat arts in battle. To assign an ability to a slot in your spellbook, move the pointer over the ability and press the square button to open the spellbook radial menu. Using the directional buttons, highlight the slot in which you wish to place the ability and press the X button. It will now be available for use in your radial menu. Only abilities you must activate can be added to the spellbook. Well, no shit. Controlling your character. There are basics of moving your character through the world, performing actions, and using abilities. Moving. You can direct your character's movement by using the left analog stick on your controller. I'm pretty sure the manual already specified that in the previous page, but whatever. Attacking enemies. To attack a creature with an equipped weapon, position your character for attack. Move close and face your target for melee attacks, or face your target for ranged attacks. And press the X button. Pushing or breaking items. Some items you encounter in the game can be moved by pushing them. Simply move your character against the item, and he or she will push it in the direction you wish. You may break or smash items like barrels and boxes that you find by pressing the X button. Performing actions. To interact with NPCs such as shopkeepers or perform other actions such as opening chests, pulling levers, and picking up items, press the square button. Blocking. You may block some attacks against your character by holding the R1 button. Dodge. Give ground and avoid attacks by holding the R1 button and pressing the L1 button. Rotating the camera. Use the right analog stick to shift and adjust the position of the view of the camera. Pausing your game. You may pause your game by pressing the start button. This will also open the pause menu. Return the game. This will allow you to return your active game. Use gate scroll. Choose this to use a gate scroll from your inventory and return to a save point. From the save point, you may choose gate back to return to the location you gated from. That is a new feature. In the original game, it would just say use gate scroll and it wouldn't decrease the count by going back, but now in this game it actually says gate back. That's a bit of a UI improvement. Load game. Choose this to load up a previously saved game. Options. Adjust your settings and preferences from this menu. Exit the menu. This will return you to the main menu. Options. Opens the main settings menu. Now you'll see the same spiel about the saving and portals here. Saving the game. As you progress through the game, you will encounter large stone pedestals atop which rest stone spheres. These are save points. The save points become active the first time you approach them. Press the square button when standing near one to save your game. This also makes a at checkpoint if you die. Using portals. Throughout the game, you will encounter stone pedestals that can be used to move between areas of the game. These pedestals look similar to save game pedestals, except a diamond-shaped crystal rests at their tops. As your character approaches them, the portal pedestals will become active. With portals, your character may travel from one location to another instantly, saving you travel time, particularly when you wish to return to a game hub to sell items, for example. Game hubs are central points between adventures and your ongoing quest where you can find a merchant, as well as save points and portals. When you approach a portal pedestal, press the square button. You will be given a list of portals you have previously activated. Choose which you'd like to travel to and press the X button. Using gate scrolls. Gate scrolls will whisk your character from his or her current location back to either Fiona or Natasla. The save point will depend on which leg of the storyline you are currently exploring. You must possess a gate scroll in your inventory to use this option. To use a gate scroll, press the start button to pause the game and select Use Gate Scroll from the menu. One gate scroll will be consumed from your character's inventory. You can quickly activate a gate scroll by pressing the square and select buttons at the same time. You can return to the location you gated from originally by pressing the start button and selecting Gate Back. No gate scroll is consumed for your trip back to your original location. Buying and selling equipment. You will encounter shopkeepers throughout your adventure. From their shops, you can replenish your supplies, sell items you picked up, and purchase new and better equipment. When you encounter a shopkeeper, press the square button. You will be given an option to enter the shop. Select either buy or sell from the shop menu. Buying items. When buying items, peruse what's available in the shop first. Move the pointer over items to see a pop-up box with details about the item. Shop inventories do change, so you may not find the same items available on your next visit. When you are ready to purchase an item, press the square button. Occasionally, items will have special beneficial effects associated with their use. These items will be displayed in blue text. Items that have a red background cannot be used by your character. Check the level restriction on the item, as it may be usable at a later level. Selling items. To sell an item, enter the spell screen. Point at the item you want to sell and press the square button. Before you sell, notice value. This is the amount the shopkeeper will give you for the item. Make sure you want to sell an item before pressing the square button. For equipped items in your character's inventory, you will be prompted to confirm the sale before the transaction is completed. Combat. Make sure your character has a weapon equipped by pressing the select button, going to the weapons page, and equipping the weapon you wish to use. You can attack with no weapon at all, but your character's fists are less effective than a sharp cleaver or a well-aimed arrow. Face the enemy you want to attack and press the X button. If you're using a melee weapon, maneuver in close to engage and start swinging. As you attack, your character will automatically advance on your enemy as long as you continue to swing at it, keeping it on the defensive and you in the thick of the fray. If you are using a ranged weapon such as the bow, point your character at the intended target and press the X button to fire. Using abilities in combat. You may also use abilities during combat to help tip the odds in your favor by accessing the radial menu. You must have assigned abilities to your spellbook from your special abilities page. The ability radial menu may be opened by pressing any directional button on the D-pad. You have two buttons you may assign to abilities, the circle and triangle buttons. Pressing these buttons during combat will execute the ability they are assigned in the radial menu. To change the button assignments, open the radial menu by pressing the directional pad and move the highlight to an ability. Press either triangle or circle button to assign that particular button to the selected special ability. You may change these button assignments at any time. You may quickly execute an ability in your radial menu that is not assigned a button. Open the radial menu by pressing the directional button and highlight the ability you wish to use. Press the square button to execute that ability. I didn't know you could do that, actually. Health and mana. As you battle, you will suffer damage and expend mana by using abilities. It's a glare. Don't know how to fix that. Does that look better? Whatever. You should monitor both health and mana closely as you play. Both regenerate to full levels over time. Barbarians regenerate mana by slaying enemies, but there are times where your character needs a quick replenishment of one or both. Health potions. Health potions quickly restore your lost health. To use a health potion, press the R2 button. Note that consumption of a healing potion will greatly accelerate your character's healing, but it is not instantaneous. Don't wait too long to use a health potion. If you're out of health potions, you'll see an icon of a red potion with an X through it to indicate your supply is depleted. Mana potions, basically the same thing. Mana potions work similarly to health potions, except they restore your mana. To use a mana potion, press the L2 button. Be sure you have a supply of these potions in your inventory as well, especially if your character uses abilities often. Loot. One of the best things about defeating an enemy, besides the satisfaction of surviving and earning experience, is the chance to receive rewards. Enemies can drop almost anything, including potions, weapons, gold, and armor. To pick up an item, move close to it. It will be highlighted and its name will be displayed at the bottom of the screen. Press the square button to pick it up. Note that your character cannot carry an unlimited number of items. At the top of the character details screen, you will see a scale icon. Next to this is the current weight of what you carry and the maximum weight you can carry. If you reach your carry capacity limit, determined by your strength, you will not be able to pick up more loot until you lighten your load. You may drop an item by pointing at it in your inventory and pressing the triangle button. Death. Your character will die if your health bar is depleted. He or she will return to the point where you last approached a save game pedestal. You will lose any experience, equipment, and coins you gained between your last encounter with a save game pedestal and at the point within which your character died. Death in multiplayer games. Death in a multiplayer game works a bit differently than it does in a single-player game. If your character or one of your comrades' characters dies, the survivor must find a save game pedestal to have the character resurrected to continue. So it's like reboot card in Fortnite, essentially. Leveling up. When your character experience bar fills completely, he or she will level up, and you may improve attributes and special abilities. Press the select button to bring up the level up screen. The number of points you have available to spend will be displayed. Distribute the points however you like by highlighting an attribute and pressing the X button. Each button press will apply 1 point to the chosen attribute. You can see that screen there, the level up screen. You may also improve your abilities by pressing the select button and going to the abilities tab. At the top of the screen, you will be listed the number of points you may apply to your abilities. You may use these points to improve abilities you already have, or you may acquire new abilities that become available at your new level. Abilities must have at least 1 point in them to be usable. Medal rounds. Unlocking hidden levels. After completing a level of champions, return to Alms, and returning to the planar portal, special zones will become available. Highlight a completed plane and press either the left or right directional button to highlight a media round, and then press a X button to enter. Medal rounds grant rewards based on requirements that must be met to successfully complete the level. After successfully completing a medal round, a second secret level will open. You can complete these for additional rewards. To enter the bonus level, press the right or left button to highlight the hidden level, and then press the X button to enter. So I guess whenever you complete a level, there'll be a hidden level associated with it. Alright. Arena games. Arena is a place where you and your friends can take on the enemies in a champion's return to arms to score points, battling enemies in waves of progressive difficulty. You begin the arena at level 1 with minimal equipment. As you battle, you will accumulate equipment, gold, and important items such as health and mana potions. You can also choose to battle your friends in the arena, testing your skills against one another. Tips and strategies. Here are a few tips and gaming strategies to help you succeed in Champions Return to Arms. Basic strategies. These strategies will help all characters, no matter which you have chosen to play. Using gate scrolls. Use gate scrolls to return to a safe point when your character is low on supplies or needs to sell off some hard-earned loot. Check the store's inventory to see if armor and equipment available might be better than what your character is currently using. Also, don't forget to replenish your gate scroll supply if it is low. You just used one to return to the store. Was it your last? Getting stuck in a dungeon without a gate scroll can be quite dangerous. Yeah, just make sure you actually have gate scrolls and don't use your last one. Using health potions. Don't be too stingy with your health potions. The best way to survive is to keep an eye on your character's health and use well-timed healing potions. Fight enemies in narrow corridors. Enemies will often try to overwhelm you with their superior numbers. It is often helpful to back away and try to position yourself in a narrow corridor that will force your enemies to tunnel in after you, protecting your flanks and preventing them from hitting you all at once. Watch out for enemy magic wielders. Beware of monsters that have enchanted weapons, arrows, or magic spells, as they are more deadly than your average grunt. You can recognize enchanted weapons by the glowing aura surrounding them. Isolate these monsters if possible and engage them. Use corners and blind spots to thwart spellcasters and enemies using arrows. Improve your special abilities. Some skills or spells may seem weak when you first acquire them. Don't give up on them. Keep training them, and they will yield powerful results. Class strategies. There are strategies for each class that can help you utilize the full potential of each. Now it's going to go through each one of them, and then it's going to go through all the abilities of each character, actually. And then that's it, right? Okay. Well, the Ixchar Shaman. Ixchar are skilled in both melee and spellcasting. Make sure you equip a weapon and shield to handle close combat. Magical offense is your best defense. Use potion spells to deal damage to large groups of creatures. The giant growth spell can eventually double the shaman's size, which allows him to do twice the normal damage. Use your summon badger spell to call a pet to help you. The Vashir Berserker. The Berserker is a solid melee character with a throwing ability. Make sure you put points in your throwing ability so you can effectively use the throwing axes that the Berserkers can summon. Most of the Vashir's spells are close range, so use them strategically in close combat. Roar is a great spell to clear the area, and Bloodlust can really give you an upper hand when fighting melee. See, it's telling you which ones to spend your points in here. Barbarian Warrior. Spend ability points on strength to increase your character's melee damage and stamina to boost health. As a warrior, you're often in the thick of battle. Use your health potions. Sometimes it is necessary to use many to survive. We know that, man. Wood Elf Ranger. Dexterity, dexterity, dexterity. Your specialty is the bow, and dexterity increases your accuracy and damage you cause when using one. This is especially important at higher levels when many of your damaging spells rely on a bow and arrows for delivery. You can easily switch between ranged and melee weaponry by using the default L1 button. Get used to switching between the two when enemies charge. Keep a good stock of arrows. The High Elf Cleric. A cleric can be played in many ways, but the most effective involves a mix of ranged spells and melee combat. This means distributing ability points equally between intelligence for mana, strength for melee damage, and stamina for health. Initiate combat with ranged spells, and then finish off with melee damage. Erudite Wizard. Intelligence is your forte. Spend ability points on intelligence to increase your mana and how often you casted those deadly spells. You may also want to put some points into stamina to increase your health in case you get into a pinch. When in doubt, run! Range is a wizard's best friend, so get some distance between you and the charging hordes to use your ranged spells more effectively. Running out of mana points is death for a wizard. Make sure you keep inventory fully stocked. Dark Elf Shadow Knight, which is the best one. Your special abilities focuses on weakening multiple opponents. Use these to weed out enemy ranks. Finish the job with melee damage. Grouped enemies are especially susceptible to this tactic. Now, we're going to go into the character abilities. So it's going to be a long one here. Just adjust the light here. Alright. Each class in Champion's Return to Arms has special abilities that he or she may use to help on their quest. These abilities come in the form of spells and combat arts. All have a required level. which your character must have achieved before the ability is available. These special abilities are either passive or they must be activated to be used. Passive abilities, once they have at least 1 point in them, will continuously function without a need to activate them. Now first, it's going over the Iskar Shaman, which is I'm pretty sure that's the lizard people, right? Yeah. This version doesn't have the pictures, which is weird. Blunt weapons. This is your skill at using blunt weapons such as hammers and maces. The damage you inflict with such weapons increases as your skill rank rises. The ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Slashing. This is your skill with slashing weapons such as swords and axes. The damage you inflict with such weapons increases as your skill rank rises. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once required. Poison Bolt. Fires a dart of poison at the enemy, inflicting damage on a successful hit and poisoning the target. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Concentration. Increases your character's natural mana regeneration rate. The regeneration rate increases as the skill rank rises. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Drowsy. Afflicts the enemy with lethargy, slowing its attacks and movement while causing damage to the target. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Tagar's Insects. Summons a swarm of insects to overcome enemies, causing damage and distracting them for a time. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Endurance. Improves your character's ability to carry heavy loads. As the skill rank increases, so does the load capacity your character is able to handle before becoming overly encumbered. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Minor Healing. Restores some health to allies nearby. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Poison Weapons. Taints the shaman's weapon with poison, causing additional damage to your enemy on successful hits. As the skill rank rises, damage and duration of the enchantment will increase. At higher skill ranks, the poison effect will be granted to the weapons of nearby friends. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Summon Badger. Summons a spirit servant in the form of a badger to serve the shaman. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Spirit Shield. Surrounds the shaman in an aura that protects against attacks. This ability must be activated and costs mana and aura points. Pus Storm. Summons a rain of virulent fluid discharge, causing damage to those in the area of effect. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Bind Wound. Improves your health regeneration rate at each skill rank. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Giant Growth. Increases the size of the shaman, making him stronger and able to cause greater damage in combat. This ability must be activated and costs mana. This is like the one like Giant Mushroom in Super Mario DS. There's Planar Wind. Conjures a great gust of wind in front of the shaman, knocking enemies back and causing damage. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Root. Immobilizes an enemy for a short period of time. Higher skill ranks will increase its duration and the number of creatures your character can root. Yeah, this immobilizes an enemy for a short time. Higher skill ranks will increase its duration and the number of creatures your character can root, and decrease the chances for an enemy to break free prematurely. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Now we're going into the Vashir Berserker. It has blunt weapons, we read that already. Slashing, we read that already. Now it has throwing. Enhances the Berserker's ability to damage enemies with throwing axes. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Has Roar. Knocks back enemies close to the Berserker, causing damage. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Summon Axe. Creates a stack of throwing axes for the Berserker. Higher skill ranks increase the number of axes created. That's actually pretty cool. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Has Endurance. Read that already. Has Bloodlust. The Berserker is able to focus his attacks for greater damage while sacrificing some defense. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Critical Hit. Increases your character's chance to score a critical hit during combat, causing greater damage to enemies. As the skill rank rises, the chance for a critical hit improves and the duration of the effect increases. At higher skill ranks, your character will begin to emanate this benefit in a radius around him or her, affecting nearby friends as well. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Fire Axe. Enchants one of your character's axes to deliver a fire attack against an enemy. As the spell rank rises, the fire damage caused increases. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Dodge. Improves your ability to dodge ranged attacks. Your chance to dodge a ranged attack rises with each skill rank. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. That's pretty cool. Berserker Rage. When the Berserker falls below 25% health, he slips into a frenzied rage that boosts his ability to damage enemies for a short time. This ability does not cost mana when it is triggered. Riposte. Allows your character to redirect damage against him or her back at the enemy, like thorns in Minecraft. As the skill rank rises, so does the chance for your character to riposte an attack, and the damage your character causes to the enemy increases. I don't know if it increases. It says the chance for him to riposte an attack and the damage the character causes to the enemy. Okay, this ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. So it's like the Thorns enchantment. Bind Wound, we already read that. Dual Wield. Allows your character to wield a weapon in each hand and to attack with both. As your character's skill rank rises, his or her effectiveness and damage will improve. This ability does not cost mana and is in effect whenever two weapons are wielded. This is a pretty cool class, not gonna lie. Cyclone. A spin attack that can damage enemies on all sides of your character. Higher skill ranks offer increased damage, more revolutions in your character's spin, and better maneuverability during the move. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Axe Bandolier. With this ability, the Berserker is able to reduce the burden of his axes, making them lighter to carry. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Battle Cry. Rallies allies who are nearby, increasing their ability to damage. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Cold Axe. Enchants one of your character's axes to deliver a cold damage to the enemy, and has a chance to freeze the enemy temporarily. As the spell rank rises, the cold damage caused, the length of the freeze effect, and the axe velocity increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Now we have the Barbarian Warrior. Has blunt weapons and slashing. We've read those before. And it has Slam. Slam is a very damaging form of a standard melee attack. Slamming an enemy boosts the damage your character causes with an attack. This boost increases with each skill rank. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Bind Wound, already read before. That has Dodge as well. We've already read before. Has Endurance, which we've already read before. Has Shield Bash. Shield Bash is a rushing attack that uses a shield to damage and possibly even stun your enemies. The damage inflicted increases with each skill rank, as does the chance to stun your enemy and the number of enemies that can be bashed in a single attack. This ability must be activated and costs mana. You must have a shield equipped to use this ability, obviously. Critical Hit, we already read. Dual Wield, we already read. He also has Ground Pound. Ground Pound is a massive attack unleashed by striking the ground with a two-handed blunt weapon. All enemies within the area of effect take damage. Both the damage inflicted and the area effect increase with each skill rank. At higher skill ranks, enemies may also be stunned by the attack. This ability must be activated and costs mana. You must have a two-handed blunt weapon to use this ability. You must have it equipped. Charge. Charge is a running attack that causes tremendous damage to the enemy hit. Damage increases with skill rank. Higher level skill ranks add an area effect, which damages enemies within the effect radius, and the ability to steer the charge. That also increases with the skill rank. This ability must be activated and costs mana. He also has Riposte, which we read before. He has Stunning Strike. This ability gives the warrior a chance to stun opponents with his or her attacks. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. He also has Cyclone, which I read. He has Strong Stance. Allows the warrior to solidly stand against incoming attacks that attempt to knock him or her down. The chance to resist a knockdown attempt increases with skill rank. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Ancestral Call. Ancestral Call invokes the power of your character's ancestors for a significant boost to attack, speed, and damage. As the skill rank rises, damage and duration of effect both increase. At higher skill ranks, your character will radiate an aura that grants benefits to fellow players nearby. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Natural resistance. This ability boosts the warrior's natural resistance to magic, lowering the damage he or she takes from magic-based attacks. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. That's pretty cool. We have the Wood Elf Ranger now. He has blunt weapons, we already read that. Slashing, we already read that. He has archery. Archery improves your effectiveness in causing damage against enemies when using a bow. As skill rank rises, damage caused by the bow attack increases. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. He also has regeneration. Regeneration will prove that which your character regains mana. As skill rank rises, I'm pretty sure I read this already. Regeneration. Yeah. He has multi-fire. Multi-fire allows your character to fire more than a single arrow at a time. As your skill rank rises, the number of... why is there that... Alright, as skill rank rises, the number of arrows that can be fired simultaneously and their speed increases. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Summon arrows. Using this ability, the ranger can create a stack of arrows to replenish his or her ammunition. At higher skill ranks, more arrows are created. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Endurance. I read that already. He has endurance. He has Cold Arrow. Cold Arrow enchants one of your character's arrows to deliver additional cold damage to an enemy, and has the chance to freeze the enemy temporarily. As a spell rank rises, the cold damage caused, the length of the freeze effect, and the arrow velocity increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Critical Hit. Yeah, I already read that already. He has that. He also has Dual Wield. Read that already. He has Poison Arrow. Poison Arrow enchants one of the character's arrows to deliver additional poison damage to an enemy. It will also create a poison cloud around the target. The affected target continues to take damage over the duration of the poison effect. As the spell rank rises, the initial damage inflicted increases, as the size, duration, damage caused by the poison cloud created. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Healing. Healing restores your character's hit points as if he or she had consumed a healing potion. As the skill rank rises, the amount of hit points healed increases. At higher skill points, the effect will have a radius, healing nearby friends as well. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Fire Arrow. Fire Arrow enchants one of your character's arrows to deliver an explosive fire attack against an enemy. As the spell rank rises, the fire damage caused and the radius of the explosion increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Entangle. Entangle will immobilize an enemy for a short period of time. Higher skill ranks will increase its duration and the number of creatures your character can root at a time, with multiple castings of the spell, and decrease the chances for an enemy to break free prematurely. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Why is it called Entangle? The other one's called... Okay. Explosive Arrow. Explosive Arrow enchants one of your character's arrows to deliver explosive charge at enemies. As the skill rank rises, the damage inflicted increases. At higher skill ranks, the arrow will explode in a radius, causing damage to enemies near the target. The ability must be activated and costs mana. Minor Healing. Restores your character's hit points as if he or she had consumed a healing potion. As the skill rank rises, the number of hit points healed increases. At higher skill ranks, the effect will have a radius, healing nearby enemies as friends, healing nearby friends as well. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Light Quiver. With this ability, the ranger is able to reduce the burden of his or her arrows, in effect making them lighter to carry. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Penetrating Arrows. The ranger's arrow shots become so precise and powerful that they have a chance of punching through shields and even more than one enemy through their path. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. That's pretty cool. Alright guys, now you have the High Elf Cleric. He has blunt weapons, read that already. He has Holy Strike. Holy Strike causes the bolt of divine power into being This tripped me up last time. Holy Strike calls a bolt of divine power into being strike an enemy for damage. No. Holy Strike calls a bolt of divine power into being to strike an enemy for damage. It is even more effective against undead enemies, causing significantly more damage to them. As the skill rank rises, the damage inflicted increases. At higher levels, the bolt will begin to track enemies. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Endurance. We already read that. Shield Bash. We already read that. I'm pretty sure we read that already. With the... Right. One of these guys has Shield Bash, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. But it's an attack that uses your shield to damage and can possibly even stun your enemies. The damage inflicted increases with each skill rank, as does the chance to stun your enemy. The ability must be activated and costs mana. You must have a shield to use this ability. I'm pretty sure I read that already for one of them. Healing. Already read that one. Has Holy Armor. Holy Armor will protect your character by absorbing a percentage of the hit point taken from enemy attacks and converting it to damage subtracted from your character's mana points instead. As your skill rank rises, the duration of the effect and the percentage of the hit point damage converted to mana point damage increases. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Blessed. Blessed will improve your character's mana generation rate while in effect. As the skill rank rises, the rated regeneration and the duration both increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Undead Shield. Undead Shield wraps your character into an aura of divinity that causes damage to any undead creature that attacks. The offending undead will take damage based on a percentage of the damage it inflicts on your character. As the skill rank rises, the duration of the effect and the percentage of damage the undead attacker takes increases. At higher skill ranks, nearby friends will also receive the effects of the undead shield. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Hammer of Wrath. Hammer of Wrath summons a divine hammer that assists your character in combat. It is capable of executing a spin move as well. As the skill rank rises, the damage the hammer can inflict, the hammer's duration, and the chance of the hammer executing a spin move will all increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Blinding Light. Blinding Light bathes an enemy in dazzlingly bright light, causing initial damage and possibly confusion as well. Additionally, enemies near the target may also be affected. Light clings to the target for a short period of time while continuing to cause damage. As the skill rank rises, the initial damage caused, subsequent damage, duration of the effect, and area of effect increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Dismiss Undead. Dismiss Undead is an attack that is particularly effective against undead creatures. A skull is hurled at the target enemy, which suffers damage when struck. If the skull misses, it will begin to bounce off obstacles until it impacts an enemy or dissipates at the end of its duration. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused and duration of the skull increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. That's pretty cool. Root. Already read that one. Convert Enemy. Convert Enemy will cause an enemy to begin working for your character for the duration of the effect. Undead creatures, animals, and those with a particularly strong will are immune to conversion. As the skill rank rises, the number of your enemies your character may have converted at the same time increases, as well as the duration of the conversions. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Repulse Undead. Repulse Undead causes undead creatures around your character to be knocked away or driven back in fear. Non-undead creatures and undead of great power will not be affected. As the skill rank rises, the chance to repulse, the number of undead creatures affected, and the duration of the repulsion all increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Resurrect. Resurrect. This spell can return a fallen comrade to life. Oh, that's pretty cool. The resurrected friend will be weak when he or she is returned to life. This ability must be activated and costs a significant amount of mana. Wow. I think that's a new one. Retribution. Cast upon an enemy. Retribution heals the cleric in incremental amounts with each successful hit against the enemy. This ability must be activated and costs mana. So you're like sucking the life out of them, basically. Unspoken Word. Causes damage to all enemies within range and has a chance to stun them as well. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused and the chance to stun both increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Here we go. Now we have the wizard. The erudite wizard. They have blunt weapons. We read that already. They have Shock of Frost. Fires a projectile of ice at an enemy, causing cold damage upon impact. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused by the bolt increases. At higher skill ranks, the bolt will shatter on impact, damaging enemies near the original target with shattering ice shrapnel. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Bind Wound. Already read that. Bolt of Shock. Bolt of Shock sends a bolt of lightning coursing towards your character's enemy to cause damage. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused by the bolt increases. At higher skill ranks, the bolt will begin to jump from one enemy target to others nearby, causing additional damage. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Froststorm. Froststorm unleashes a frigid storm cloud that travels away from your character, raining shards of ice on enemies. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused by the storm, the size of the cloud, its speed, and its duration all increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. It has Endurance. Already read that from previous character types. Wizard Beam. Wizard Beam fires a continuous beam of energy from your character at the target, causing damage. Tendrils of energy will also sprout from the target to strike other enemies within range as well. The Wizard Beam lasts as long as you hold down the ability button or until your character runs out of mana. This ability must be activated and costs mana for each second of use. Concentration. Concentration increases your character's natural mana regeneration rate. The regeneration rate increases as the skill rank rises. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. I don't know why they have different names for the same ability for different characters. Cold Weapons. Cold Weapons imbues your weapons with a magical cold, causing additional damage to your enemy. As the skill rank rises, damage and duration to the enchantment increase. At higher skill ranks, the cold effect will be granted to the weapons of nearby friends. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Shock of Fire. Shock of Fire launches a bolt of fire at your enemy, causing damage. Damage increases as your character's skill rank rises. At higher skill ranks, the bolt will explode, engulfing nearby targets in a ball of flame. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Battle Mage. Allows the wizard to use one-handed melee weapons such as blades and thrown weapons, but at a slightly reduced effectiveness. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Lightning Weapons. Lightning Weapons imbues your weapon with an electrical charge, shocking your enemies for additional damage while in effect. Damage duration of the enchantment will increase as the skill rank rises. At higher skill ranks, the enchantment will be granted to the weapons of nearby friends. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Fire Flares. Fire Flares creates a number of circling flames around your character that will impact an enemy within range, causing damage. As skill rank rises, the number of flares, their duration, and damage they cause increases. At higher skill ranks, the flares will explode to cause damage to enemies within this radius. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Firestorm. Firestorm ignites a torrent of flames in the area surrounding the target, causing damage to the target and nearby enemies. Higher skill ranks increase the damage caused, the storm's duration, and the size of the area storm affects. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Cone of Frost, just like the Cone of Cold in Eye of the Beholder. Cone of Frost creates a cone-shaped area of bitter cold before your character, damaging all enemies caught within it and lasting as long as you hold the activating button, or until your character's mana is depleted. Higher ranks will increase the damage caused by the cone as well as the length and area. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Root, already read that from my previous. Fire Weapons. Fire Weapons enchants a weapon with flames, causing additional damage to the enemy. As skill rank rises, the damage caused and duration of the enchantment increase. At higher skill ranks, the enchantment will be granted to the weapons of nearby friends. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Cone of Fire. Cone of Fire creates a flaming jet extending outward and lasting as long as you hold down the ability button or until your mana is exhausted. Higher skill ranks grant greater damage and longer, wider cones of fire. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Wave of Flame releases a roiling wave of flame from the wizard, searing those within range and setting them on fire. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Pretty cool. Now we have by far the best character class you can ever pick, the Dark Elf Shadow Knight. He has blunt weapons, we already read that before. He has slashing, which we already read before. They also have Disease Bolt. Disease Bolt is a contagion fired at your enemy that causes damage, as well as disease that will continue to damage the target. As the skill rank rises, the initial damage, the subsequent damage from disease, and its duration increase. At higher skill ranks, the bolt will begin to track enemies. This ability must be activated and cost mana. Bind Wound. Bind Wound improves your health regeneration rate with each skill rank. This ability does not cost mana and is always in effect once acquired. Oh, I've already read that. Life Tap. Life Tap has a chance of siphoning off the dissipating life energy of defeated enemies, boosting your character's own health or mana. As the skill rank rises, the chance of a successful Life Tap increases, as does the amount of benefit gained. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Disease Trail. Disease Trail creates clouds of pestilent vapors behind your character that cause damage to enemies entering them and for as long as they remain within them. As the skill rank rises, the duration of the clouds and the damage they inflict increases. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Endurance, reread that already. Engulfing Darkness. Engulfing Darkness envelops an enemy in a clinging shroud of damaging darkness that can also cause confusion and will continue to harm the target after the initial attack. As the skill rank rises, the chance to confuse the target increases, as does the damage and duration of both the darkness and the confusion effects. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Disease Shield. Disease Shield creates a cloud of infectious fumes around your character that causes damage to enemies that enter its area of effect. The cloud remains centered on your character for its duration. As the skill rank rises, the radius of the cloud, damage it causes, and its duration all increase. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Shadow Step allows the Shadow Knight to briefly delude enemies, allowing him or her to slip away to a safer spot nearby. At higher skill ranks, the deception can confuse nearby enemies for a time. This ability must be activated and costs mana. They also have Riposte, which I've read already. My favorite is Summon Skeleton. Summon Skeleton summons an animated skeleton to assist your character and remains until killed. As skill rank rises, the skeleton summon becomes more powerful and has a chance to appear wielding a weapon. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Shield Bash, already read that. Convert Undead. Convert Undead will cause an undead enemy to begin working for your character for the duration of the effect. Non-undead creatures and undead of a particularly strong will are immune to conversion. As the skill rank rises, the number of undead enemies your character may have converted at the same time increases, as does the duration of the conversions. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Disease Blade. Taints the Shadow Knight's weapon with disease, infecting enemies struck by the weapon. This ability must be activated and costs mana. Harm Touch, a devastating attack that causes massive damage to an enemy. Once your character uses this ability, he or she must wait a certain amount of time before using it again. As the skill rank rises, the damage caused increases, as does the wait time between uses. This ability must be activated and costs mana. See, it actually costs mana and has a cooldown. Raise Army. Raises fallen enemies within range as undead servants, battling for the Shadow Knight. Bodies must be present to be raised. Higher skill ranks increase the number of servants and radius. This ability must be activated and cost mana. Next page here. We have the credits. Just like before, I'm just going to show you the credits here and not read the names, just out of respect for everyone. Immersive sound. And then here you have the EULA here. You want me to read the EULA, guys? You want me to read it? Anyways, no one cares. Here's more of the EULA. Oh, here's the SOEgames.net terms of service EULA. It's pretty cool. Next page here. More of the EULA. Here's the limited warranty. If you guys want to read this warranty here. Limited to $100. Uses DNAS, the proprietary system for online connectivity here. And here's the back. No way this is a longer manual, and I actually got through it faster than the original Champions of Norath. Must have read faster this time here. Look at that. What did it say on the back here? It said, championsrta.com. You know what? Since we're ahead of schedule, we're gonna bring up the Wayback Machine here and show you what the website used to look like. Here we go. Wayback Machine. Let's go here. So, I'm gonna enter in the URL. Let's get the game here. It's www.championsrta.com. Okay, let's do 2005 here. Whoa, what is this? I don't know what the hell that was, but fuck it. Here's the disc, by the way. That is Champions Return to Arms. Once again, Toby is the best character in Naruto. Thank you for watching this reading of Champions of Norath.